What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at XRP as well as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. More specifically, we're going to be focusing on the weird trends that are happening within Bitcoin and XRP. As you can see, we are bouncing off a definitive support, so I want to continue discussing as to where and how high we can potentially move to, as well as looking at Litecoin and XRP, which are showing some interesting signs that we could have bottomed out and tested the bottom recently, indicating time to retrace to the upside. Now, I also want to discuss with you guys a couple of things in regards to the current coin market cap in an article posted by Ripple completing its $50 million MoneyGram investment and supporting XRP use for global payments. How exactly could this be affecting the market? Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and make sure to comment hashtag CryptoTV down below if you want to be entered in the $25 Bitcoin giveaway that we do every single Friday. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. Alright guys, so we're on my channel right now and you can see a couple of things. The past couple of days we were discussing the possibilities of seeing a $200 run, which I believe is pretty much impossible, and I discussed furthermore, $1,600, $1,000, even like $100 seem fairly unlikely within XRP. But you'll notice I did discuss yesterday that there is a potentially big move starting again within XRP, and I want to discuss with you on that as to where we could be potentially going and to how high and the extent is. Now, as you can see on the current coin market cap, majority of the coins kind of had this ripple yesterday that we saw, but then it seems to have capped off and traded out sideways, which is interesting because I wasn't anticipating sideways movement, a retracement, and then a cap to the upside, and then just sideways movement again, pretty much leveling off with where it originally fell from. So with that being said, I want to continue our investigation and analysis in regards to whether or not we will be seeing any sort of higher move. Now, I'm sure my voice sounds extremely deep and raspy. That is because, once again, I'm getting over a cold. I believe today's probably going to be the last day that I feel like that. Also, an update, FYI, guys, I am driving home today back to Long Island for Thanksgiving. So, come tomorrow, I will be having a couple of difficulties setting up my new recording studio, as you guys know, which is back home. And sometimes the videos may not come out as early as they do, or you might see a difference. Just, letting you guys know in advance. So to look at all these cryptocurrencies, there's definitely some significant support being retested. Now, obviously, Google Chrome needed to update itself, so after I updated it, Litecoin's chart, all of them pretty much changed. But what I was noticing is we've been tracking Litecoin for quite some time now, and I feel like my previous charts had Litecoin hitting a resistance and then falling back down, and I didn't have a support, as far as I think. But after reanalyzing the charts, I'm noticing that Litecoin actually did hit a support. Litecoin is in what I consider a big bearish candle, similar to what XRP was in, but Litecoin decided to break to the upside. It's starting to hold this major support right here, which is great. It made sense. You can see from all the way to the start of May, we've been having this massive uptrend being withheld. So you can see, once again, we were retesting the bottom support right here, and now we're starting to break up or branch to the upside. But I am noticing that there is resistances being in play here, and we're starting to have issues with that. We did now re-enter back out of the oversold market, so that looks great as well. But to continue off of XRP, notice when I show you guys this channel right here, really extended like this, we can even go to the weekly, you'll notice a couple of things. We're obviously hitting some sort of support right here. You can see there's a massive resistance, a massive descending triangle, and we happen to have landed right where support was. So if this doesn't withhold itself, I can easily see another retestment of 16 cents. That is definitely a huge possibility on this coin. And once we do retest either of these, we're probably going to see this sideways consolidation. Now, after we see the sideways consolidation, that's when we're going to be expecting to see any sort of run. So what I'm pretty much saying for right now is there's a good chance we're not going to see much movement to the upside within XRP. It's probably going to be a more short-term movement. So you can see if we do decide to tend to trend back upwards, it will only be, I'd say, up to 25 cents. You can see a very small retestment, pretty much retesting anything near this downtrend right here. And then what's most likely going to happen is pretty much consolidation into this wedge. We're either going to break bullish and shoot easily up to 40 cents, or going to be breaking bearish, retesting 16 cents, trending sideways. I don't think we're going to be setting a new all-time low. and then we'll see a retracement back up to 40 cents. So as I zoom in, you'll see exactly what it is that I'm referring to. You can see right here that we are retesting a couple interesting patterns. You can see we did test bottom support at 20 cents. It's holding quite well. We broke bearish of an ascending triangle, which was retesting its high-low MMA. So it is falling down to this level. There's a good chance we're either going to see consolidation to the sideways, which is probably what's going to happen, like this, or we're going to see it retest any sort of position up here and then either break bullish, hitting up to at least 40 cents, I would say, or we're going to end up seeing a retracement lower. So for those of you interested in investing, haven't bought into XRP, or want to know when to buy more, I would say hold out for right now. I am certainly not investing. I don't think this small short-term pump to the upside is anything worth the risk and the gamble. It's literally only I mean, it is a 20% gain. If we do see that run happen, maybe I will invest in and then track it on the 4-hour, but I am anticipating a low to come. I am anticipating a 16-cent low, which I know is unfortunate for most of you guys, but if you look at the trends and you look at how things are, it does seem like that is likely. But for right now, on the daily and the 4-hour, there's a good chance we're going to see that consolidation upwards before pulling back down to the lower levels. Now, I do want to discuss this Ripple article. Maybe this will help shed some knowledge as to where this coin could be moving to. So as you guys can see, Ripple completes $50 million MoneyGram investment supporting XRP use for global payments, which is awesome. This is huge. This is amazing that a company like this is actually pushing for this stuff. You can see that San Francisco-based Ripple Labs has just completed a $50 million investment in MoneyGram. The funds will help support the on-demand liquidity, a global payment product that uses XRP. And then it discusses, though, that the Ripple $50 million MoneyGram investment hasn't really made XRP pump despite the apparent use, which is interesting. And what I'm starting to notice is that for the most part, this isn't affecting, most news and articles don't affect the XRP or any cryptocurrency's price for the most part. If it's a small or very, very, very small cryptocurrency with a very small market cap, there's a good chance it will affect. But for the most part, these bigger cryptocurrencies need a lot more than just a little bit of good news to spike the currency. I think it's just a monopoly that they happen to be kind of affecting each other when we do see prices move up at the same time an article comes out, but I don't think it has any effect. You can see, despite the fact that XRP appears to be being used more than cross-border payment settlement, the price of crypto asset has not fared especially well versus the rest of the market in recent weeks and months. Despite the apparent usage by MoneyGram, the value has remained fairly constant in terms of Bitcoin, and it's dropped in tandem with other digital assets in terms of dollar value. So I want to discuss with you now the other cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum, which seem to just be kind of bouncing off what appears to be a support. We discussed Litecoin earlier today. Bitcoin looks to be hitting some sort of resistance as it's starting to trend downwards for whatever reason. Obviously, we know that there is a huge, massive support that this coin is retesting, which it has not done in months on months on months. Ever since January, it started to fray away in April. And you can see we finally came back down to retest this support back in 6,800 at around the 25th of November, which is awesome. It's great to show that this has some support that we're finally retesting. But notice a couple of things. You'll notice that there is still a resistance. We still do have a resistance up here at 75.73, which is probably going to be pushing down this price. That's one thing. Also consider that this does seem to be starting its own resistance. Previously, there does seem to be a cap here. There does seem to be a cap here. Even though we did decide to break bullish out of this descending triangle that you can see on its RSI, you'll notice that's not what actually happened on the daily. You can see for right now, we did sort of break bearish once again from the daily. I'm going to extend this up so you guys can see. You can see there's a bigger descending triangle or descending fractal forming on the RSI, which is clearly holding a ton of resistance, and we haven't been able to break really bullish through that. There's a good chance we're going to retest that and pull back down lower once again. So with that being said, I did actually sell my position on DueDEX. As you can see, I closed it more so because I was up 60%, which is quite a bit. And the second I started to seeing any sort of pullback, even though we may head higher, I thought it was a safe thing to do to sell off. DueDEX does take a small fee for the longer you hold on to it, which I didn't know at first until one of you loyal subscribers, which is awesome, pointed it out to me. So with that being said, I will be waiting and alerting and informing everybody on Patreon as to when I'm going to be buying in, when I'm going to be selling off. But I do think that this is going to be another possibility of retestment lower. I do think there's a really good chance we're going to come back down to this support, kind of trend sideways. And obviously there can still be money made. If you bought in at, 6,700 and sell at 71, that's still a big profit, but I do think it's going to take a lot longer before we see that until we end up more so into the mid to end December before seeing any sort of really big break in volume. This is going to be massive, guys. This trend right here, once this is broken, it is going to be a massive one. Otherwise, guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you for watching. Like I said, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. We do a giveaway on Friday for $25 free Bitcoin, so make sure to take advantage of that. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.